Hello, how you guys doing? James here. Haven't made a video in a couple of days. Well, it's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope you stay dry and stay warm. What's coming up? Well, I have an interesting video. And there's a certain demographic for women that, you know, I usually, like most people, whoever you date and marry, when it comes to having relationships, you know, you love who you love, you hate, and you get what you get with. But you're going to hear on these few videos, there's really a couple sad cases where one woman, husband dogged her out, and another, the same demographic of women, and just gonna come out and say it was black women picked the wrong type of man. But it's not so much they picked the man, but they picked a man that they didn't want the men in their own community, but they thought it was easy to go to the other side and find a man, but they find out the character of a man instead of
This woman asked God to give her a white husband, but years later she regretted it.
But because we cannot live under the same roof because of your insult, he was very insultive. Calling me a prostitute, I took you from a man. That's what he tells people. You go, he has a channel also. You go to his channel, you will see. If you understand the captions, he will call me prostitute, a thief, everything. There's nothing I've not been caught.
Ever since I've been online, I've heard the sentiments from black women towards black men, at least some of them. And that sentiment and concern is that, listen, dealing with black men just isn't good enough for them. They would like to go out there and be treated differently and be loved romantically by a group of men who actually gets it. You know, because black men or African men just don't get it. And once they get these men, hey, things are gonna go work out. They will get mixed children, they will live a life of happiness, and everything will run its course. Unfortunately, it doesn't always end up like that, because there's a lady right now training in Kenya by the name of Betty, and she's a single mother to two beautiful mixed kids. And actually her YouTube channel is called Betty's Stories from Kenya. She was a lady that prayed for a white man. And if you don't believe me, here's a clip.
This woman asked God to give her a white husband, but years later she regretted it.
I was so tired of everything. I said, God, please give me a white boyfriend who will take care of me, who will give me a family, what I need.
God answered her request after only 30 minutes.
Within that minute, God answered my prayer.
That's right. She prayed for a white man to come. And when he did, he came. A real one? What was the reason that she prayed for a white man? Well, because she kept getting her heart broken by black men. Let's check it out.
But I came to a point that I started getting very tired of our guys here in Kenya. Let me tell you, because of being heartbroken, I had when I left school, I had that my first boyfriend, you know, the teenage boyfriend who made me leave school. And when I went there, I met this guy I was so much in love with. And now I got this guy that I had miscarried his pregnancy, and he was there like with every woman he was meeting. When I wanted to make a family, you know, I was like, no, this is not enough. I'm fed up with this African Kenyan man. I was like, no, this is not what I want. I don't want, I need somebody who is serious, you know, for a relationship. I was 22 years now, and I am ready for a serious relationship. That's crazy.
So after getting her heart broken from black men, she decided to go and date white men. Well, in this case, Russian men. Stop and show you, my bad. Dima, ain't you Russian? Ha! Exactly. A Russian man, not Dima, I don't think. So, what is that? After she gets with this Russian guy, before she was with his friend, stop the show. Yeah, she kicked it with the the other friend for like 3 days. So then this guy decided that he wanted to booty clap himself, clap those cheeks, and that dude was staying with her. And she was like, no, listen, I'm not a prostitute. Even though she stayed with the other dude for like 3 days, let him booty clap himself. Another Russian guy. So she ended up with his friend, which is going to become her husband. Fast forward, Debo.
Soak your toe in this soft mineral and never see a foot fungus again. Did you know there is a natural way to restore healthy nails and skins?
Husband. Fast forward, Debo. So they end up moving to Russia. The guy's a doctor. She lived in Moscow. They have everything that they want. They have money, a nice house, all of that. She's there for 3.5 years. They have their first child there, and everything is good. But stop the show. She was like, African music, I miss Kenya. I want to go back to Kenya. I don't want to stay in Russia. I'm bored. Nobody here to talk to. I get to go home every year for 2 weeks, and I'm going back to Kenya. So, this is the white man that has rescued her, taken her from Kenya into a life of luxury, but she wants to go back home to the village. So the guy was like, look, no, you need to stay here with me, and everything will work out. Nope, she wanted to go back to the village. So they fought, and the guy said, listen, I'm not going to let you go by yourself. We're going to sell everything in Russia and move there. Stop the show. Men, if you ever make this stupid ass mistake, like a woman wants you to go into her world, you have a world that you understand, that you're doing very well in. You're going to sell off all of your stuff to move to an African village with her, where she doesn't have really anything but her family and doesn't really have anything but that. You know what? As much as you love her, let her go. Okay? Because it's your infrastructure that has gotten it so far. I've seen so many guys do this, and then they end up losing their way, like this guy's about to. So, fast forward. They sell everything, they go there, and everything like that. Then they started some businesses. Business, of course, was doing okay at first until they were sad music. So people started stealing from their businesses, started stealing from their farms and all of that. So then the guy starts drinking like this.
I said, what am I gonna do if he gets worse and I'm in somebody's country? And the person, I'm supposed to look after me and all that. But here he's this anchor that is so much. My husband, he's a very big drinker. He's an alcoholic. If I may say it, a good drinker.
So, as you can see, he's losing a bit of himself, right? Basically, the guy is becoming a drunkard because he's no longer doing what he loves to do in Russia. He's no longer being himself, and he's now on her time, living in her country, getting scammed, everything like that. It's just become a complete, total disaster. Fast forward. Then what happens at that point? You guys can check this whole thing out on Afromax English. It was a great story. Once that happens, guys, it gets even a little worse. So the guy falls into complete alcoholism. Not even working anymore, not doing anything anymore. And she was even going through experiences like this.
As a mom, she's fighting to raise her 2 children. She says it's really tough for her, and she's asking for help from everyone who watches this video. She believes that help is simple and that everyone can do it.
So for me, anyone who would be interested, if you have listened to my story, anyone who would be interested to help me and my kids, I'm trying right now to make this place better. It is supposed to be actually finished down and up, but it didn't go through because of all those stories. Anyone who would like to help me a little bit anywhere, anyhow, you can be able to reach me through my contact on my channel. They are there, my contact in the description box of my channel. Betty's Stories from Kenya. That's the name of my channel.
What about your husband? Do you think he needs help?
My husband, he needs a lot of help. I cannot say because we are separated that guy doesn't need help, but the help he needs is medical. He has a problem with this medically he needs a lot. Even his friends know that, but we have tried to tell him to go back to his country.
That's right. The experiences of being beaten. Okay? That's not cool, but it's what she experienced. So then, if you read the whole thing or watch the whole thing, they end up splitting up. But this is interesting at the end. Okay? Listen to this.
And we were getting back. I told him, no, I'm going to stop here. You will not go anywhere. He held my heart behind my back. And then, do you know these Russians? They go to army when they are 21 years. Like all the men. So this one has also been in the army before. And he was twisting my heart behind my back. And I even pissed on myself. It was painful, man. So painful, and I cried and cried. Such I don't know where your passport is. I don't know. He twisted me more. You have to tell me. I lied to him. I know where it is. I'll show you. That time I don't even know where it is. He twisted me. Got downstairs, and he said, "Give it to me." I don't know where it is. He strangled me.
Now she is asking for anybody to come and help her with her situation. Please support her. Now she has these Caucasian kids, or half black, half Russian kids. She's living in, I don't know if we would call it a poverty situation, but she has 2 mixed children now, living somewhere in Kenya, and not living a financially successful life as what it seems. But all of this was because she felt that she's tired of these Kenyan men, and these Kenyan men are not anything. I want to get me a white man or a Russian man. How has that helped you? I mean, this is the thing, like, okay, how has that assisted you? What have you gotten from that? The reality is that you didn't get anything from that. And this is what happens. I've been living here. You have the divestors. They think that getting them a white man is going to be great. Getting them a white man is going to be their saving grace. No, getting a white man is not going to be your saving grace. Getting you a white wife is not going to be your saving grace. I don't know why brothers and sisters believe that, but that's some of the stupidest stuff I've ever heard. You know what I mean? Like, people are good people or bad people depending on who they are, how they see the world, how they've grown up. You just can't get around it. Nobody's going to give you a good person because they're white or they're foreign. Alright? Like, even some of the guys from the passport bros, they think that these chicks are going to be just so great. No. Alright? Like, I'm living overseas. Yes, some of them can be nice, but they're not going to be nice because they are from Africa or because they're from, UK or because they're from whatever. That individual is going to be a good person or a bad person and more your speed because of that individual person, how they're growing up. Now, obviously, there are some cultural things that can help you there, but that's not going to be the case. And black men need to understand it, or you end up like this lady who thought that, color over character would be the same thing. But check this out. Now, that guy ended up becoming an alcoholic. He ended up becoming abusive just like anybody else. And the reason is he had to give up his life to move into your world, and any man can become, despondent or start acting erratic in that situation. You don't have to be Russian to do it or black to do it. It can happen in any chance. But, now you're looking for somebody to help you, and, you don't have probably the black man to come out and help you. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, City Jackson, back at it again with an episode of
Do It All in Fleetio. Fleetio is a software
There's another
solution that
case
brings all of
where
the
black
pieces of
women
your
picked
fleet
the wrong
into
type
one
of white man,
centralized dashboard.
picked the wrong type
That
of
means
man.
one platform for fleet
But not-
management,
these
fleet
were not
maintenance,
black men.
cost tracking, work orders, parts and inventory.
I'm gonna need the people who had all that smoke for Jonathan Majors because of who he was dating and the situation that he has ended up in to have the same smoke for this situation right here. But I won't hold my breath. So in this picture you see 2 people. On the left, a woman by the name of Megan Ashley Stemman, and on the right is a man by the name of Chris Foyles. Now this man was dating, or they were dating each other. They were actually boyfriend and girlfriend, and he ended up deleting her. As a matter of fact, it wasn't enough for him to simply delete her, but he actually deleted her while they were in an RV, because I'm guessing they lived in an RV. or he left her body in the RV for weeks before people found out that he was the one that did it, or before he finally confessed to doing it. He actually lived with her body, her corpse, for weeks after he stabbed her to death and finally confessed to actually doing it. Now, I don't know how long she was in there for, but it said for weeks, so I'm going to assume it had to be probably well over a month. And I'm reading this story from Law and Crime, and it's dated January 17th, 2024, as far as when the article was posted, but I'm recording the video on January 21st, 2024. Cops have released the worst possible news in their search for a missing woman. Her ex-boyfriend allegedly stabbed her to death and possibly lived with her body for weeks in an RV. Chris Foyles, age 42, is being held in the Bonneville County Jail in Idaho on a charge of first-degree murder. Police in Bozeman, Montana have been looking for the victim, Megan Stemman, who was 34, saying she was linked to a certain RV. That ended tragically on Friday when someone found a 1973 Dodge RV with no license plate or vehicle identification number matching the description in Idaho Falls, Idaho, according to court documents obtained by the Spokesman Review. Officers said they received no answer when they knocked on the RV door and did surveillance while waiting for their Bozeman counterparts to arrive with a search warrant. Before they could arrive, however, Foyles allegedly exited the vehicle. "I am Chris Foyles," he said, according to the report documents. "I killed my girlfriend. She is in the RV." Now listen to how standoffish he sounds. He said, "Yeah, I pretty much did it." Doesn't that sound like the tone that Chad Wheeler had when he damn near beat his girlfriend to death, who was black as well? He was like, "Oh, I thought you died." See how, like, it's just like, it's nothing. It's nothing for them to just act in this vein. To the black, the divestors out there, I hope you're listening, but something tells me you're not. And something also tells me they probably didn't talk about the story, and if they did, they probably found a way to spin the block and turn it on the black men. Cops found Stedman's body in the back of the RV, according to the Spokesman Review. Foyles allegedly claimed he and Stemman arrived in Idaho Falls on around December 22nd, parking the vehicle on the south side of the Walmart on Utah Avenue. 2 weeks before his arrest, he and Stemman got into an argument while parked at the Walmart, he allegedly said. Afraid she would call the cops because of a no-contact order between them, he stabbed her in the neck and chest with a kitchen knife, intending to kill her, then returned to finish the killing, stabbing her several times in the upper back when he heard her moving, according to documents. Stedman's family reportedly described her disappearance as out of character. She would have not left without communicating with her children and loved ones, especially in light of Christmas and her daughter's birthday on January 10th. Stedman's family described the relationship between her and Foyles in troubled terms. For example, Janelle Anari, a close friend, said Stemman called her in a panic during their last conversation. She was trying to leave her ex-boyfriend, according to Spokane, Washington radio KXLY. There had been some type of escalated situation between the two of them, and she wanted to know if I could wire her some money to get cash and come home, she reportedly said. The police investigation is ongoing. Bozeman cops asked the public for any information regarding previous sightings on the motor home between this past December 15th and January 12th, or any information connected to Stedman's disappearance. Idaho Falls officers who are investigating the murder asked for information on Foyle's movements between December 15th and January 12th. This is the statement from the Idaho Falls police. Investigators are asking for public assistance for gathering information about Foyle's movements between December 15th and January 12th. Anyone who saw Foyles or the motor home pictured over the past 4 weeks is asked to report the information to the Idaho Falls Police Department by emailing IFPD Detective Reed at creed@idahofalls.gov or calling the non-emergency dispatch line at 208-529-1200. Please reference case number 2024-1289. The motorhome is a 1973 tan motorhome with obvious damage to the rear driver's side and a red stripe down the side. At some point in the last 4 weeks, the stripe was painted blue. So he basically tried to cover his tracks. And that's the entire story right there. Again, he sounded very standoffish when he said it. They said he had the body in there for weeks. He just didn't care. Apparently, they said they got into an argument, and then that's when he stabbed her in the neck and chest. And then when he noticed that she was moving, he came back to finish her off. So he made sure that she was there. He wanted her gone. And then to just leave the body there for weeks. He didn't care about this woman's friends, her family, or her children. And I'm hoping and assuming the children she had was not with him. But still, and also look at the age gap. Granted, you know, they're both consenting adults, but he was 42 and she was 34. Now, I beg the question again, what do the divestors have to say about this? Because this story has been out for a couple days now, and I haven't heard really anyone say anything about it. But when Jonathan Majors had his situation, everybody couldn't wait to dump on him, and we saw that situation and how that unfolded. I just find it very interesting when it comes to stories like this. It seems very one-sided. Even when it came to the Chad Wheeler situation, they were very quiet about that. It seems like anytime there's a situation where it's a black woman and a white man together and something like this ends up happening, they get very, very quiet. And this is not something that's just started. This has been going on for quite some time. But I know they're probably not going to talk about this because it's obvious they didn't care about her either. They could care less. As long as they going out there getting something for themselves, they could care less about what happens to someone else who listens to their rhetoric. Now, I don't know how this woman's mindset was. I can't gauge it. I don't know what her mindset is. But the one thing we do know is, unfortunately, she lost her life at the hands of this obvious demonic entity who could care less about her life or anyone around her that will be affected by her. One, have been missing, and two, her death, because she's not coming back. I don't know what kind of sentencing he's going to get, considering the circumstances. Hopefully they throw the book at him. They said they hit him with first-degree murder charges. Hopefully they stick and he goes to prison for life without the possibility of parole. That's the only way that you can really see how this all plays out. I just want to know why the energy isn't kept the same. You know, they always have to say, well, black men, if you just stayed away from the white women, this wouldn't happen to you. So I asked the question to them, or tell them the same thing. Black women, if you stay away from the white men, maybe this would not happen to you. But again, I'm telling you, them divestors are very tricky. They're going to spin it. If they ever get wind of this story, if they haven't already, they're going to spin it and say, and try to take themselves out of it. I know, because we've seen it happen so many times. So this bit of information I actually didn't even know about, and it's crazy because on the first part of the video I recorded roughly about 10 days or maybe 9 days before this new information came out, because I didn't go back to look to see if there was anything else that could have been added in there. But apparently there was 2 more additional things that came out on this day and on another day, which I'm going to cover right now. So the man who did this, it says he was indicted for murder and allegedly destroyed parts of the woman's body. So again, not only was he staying in the RV with her corpse, but he also had, apparently it looks like he dismembered her. It says a man appeared in court Friday shortly after being indicted by a grand jury for first-degree murder. Chris Brandon Foyles, age 42, was indicted by a grand jury on 1 count of first-degree murder, an enhancement for using a deadly weapon, and 1 count of destroying evidence. His original charge, which was filed on January 16th, a felony first-degree murder, was dismissed and replaced with a grand jury indictment. Foyles, originally from Moscow, appeared nearly emotionless in court as his attorneys, public defenders Jim Archibald and John Thomas, stood beside him, agreeing their client would continue to be held without bail. According to the indictment, Foyles willfully and with premeditation killed Megan Stemman with a knife. It also states Foyles did willfully destroy parts of the human body, knowing that the body parts were about to be produced, used, or discovered as evidence.
Hi, I'm Matthew Lesko. Maybe you've seen me around on television or...
Divesting gone wrong. When you beg white men for some bedroom play and he still doesn't want you.
I have lived in Ireland for 15 years, and actually over 15 years. And for those 15 years that I have lived here, I have tried everything Irish. I have tried the food. I have tried the accent, I have tried the dances, I have tried the culture, you name it. I have tried everything, the tradition, I've lived it, been there, done that. But in the 15 years that I have been in this country, there is one thing I have not experienced. There is one thing I have not tried. And I don't know if it is my fault, if I'm the problem, or whatever the case may be, but I am here to ask you guys what the issue is. In the 15 years that I have lived in Ireland, I have not tried Irish men. And I don't know if it's the problem with my proximity. I don't know what it is. I have went to secondary school here. I have went to university here. I work in Ireland. Basically, let's say my whole life has existed in Ireland. I've basically lived the best years of my life in Ireland, yet I have not experienced or tasted a white man. And I don't know. I don't know if it's a thing where, you know, maybe they're not attracted to me or I'm not attracted to them, or I don't know. But if you guys know what the issue is, okay, and you guys can give me tips of where you find these Irishmen, I would be so happy. I know this is like, I don't know, but y'all, I need help, because I don't know if I'm the problem, and if I am the problem, I'm gonna need to fix up real quick. Hey! So let me tell you guys what just happened. So I am minding my own business. I'm in Blanchardstown. I park my car, and the minute I get out, I can see that there's like a guy looking at me. So I'm starting to feel some type of way, obviously, because like, why are you looking at me? Like, this guy was focusing on me so much. The minute I close my door to go shopping, he goes to me, here, is that your car? And I'm like, yeah, it is. And then he goes to me, I'm pretty sure you don't have enough money to be buying that car, do ya? And I'm like, so I'm really shocked now, as in like, this is a bit of an invasion of privacy. If I go shopping, is this guy gonna try to steal my car? Like, I was having a lot of things going on through my home. And he goes to me, I bet you sell drugs or you stole that money to buy that car, didn't ya? And I am like, I work hard, but stay away from me.
If you think someone might need help, trust your instincts.
Do you think he's okay? No. You should say something. Like what? Anything. What if I say the wrong thing? You won't. What if he doesn't want me to? What if it saves his life? Do you know where I can get a coffee?
Start a simple conversation.
Which one of you black men are going to save this thick African queen from bottom shelf gingerbread? Divesting gone wrong.
Oh my god. Oh my god. He has a good point there. But like the first woman, you know, they're looking for some, maybe another man. Maybe she get an American white man to come rescue her, because she's in the white men. So I said, hey, maybe they come along. Maybe they could, since black men ain't such a value. So hey, just stick with what you're attracted to. If that's what you want, that's what you want. But you just have to find out. But anyway, here's what Phil had to say about this situation.
My new book, Keyboard Rich, How Anyone Can Earn Six Figures from Home with a Simple Bookkeeping.
One thing I like about the internet, it is a confessional, for a lot of people. Case in point, this, young, white woman. I want you to hear exactly what she says about her people. And we do these things so you, as Black America, can learn, from people like her and learn, knowing the nuances of racism. Let's roll it.
So entirely true, and I never realized it because I've been a brunette my entire life, and I bleached my hair blonde a week ago. I've never gotten as much attention as I've gotten right now, and not only that, you don't realize how racist the general population of white people really is until they know that you're not racially ambiguous anymore, because I was with brunette hair. Now that I'm a blonde, they're like, oh, you're definitely white, so you're a safe space for my racism. 100%. Almost every single Uber driver that I've had has said something about either Indians, Filipinos, black people, no matter what. People just feel the need to tell you all of their internal racist thoughts now that they know that you're one of them.
Now, it's very interesting that she says that when she colored her hair blonde, that they felt real comfortable around her to start, just revealing themselves. So Maybe because they got some, white women that like what we do here. I know it says the black congregation, but one thing I will tell you is that it can say black, it can say African, it can say Caribbean, it can say whatever, and we're going to have white people watching completely. So maybe some of the white women who are actually blonde, not a bottle blonde like this one, has that been your experience? But I think it's quite interesting as you look at this woman. I remember a time when white women and white men in particular as well, they were repulsed by, black people because of their lips. That's one of the things they couldn't stand.
Yeah.
And you see today as this white woman on the screen, she got all kind of fillers in her lips, right? It's just amazing how that the things that black women were always ridiculed for, their lips, their butts, all that sort of thing. Now these women are spending money on BBLs. When y'all talking about BBLs, it's just not black women and other groups of women outside of black getting it. No, you got a lot of white women getting BBLs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They getting the lips. They going getting the breast implants and everything else. And we know white men aren't the ones that's requesting them to go do this. It's not what white men are saying. Not at all. I just think that's quite interesting. And, as a black woman, and yet these women get that on them, and yet don't like black women. That's the interesting part. But that's a conversation of a different day. But they feel that, well, you must be a Nordic queen. And so since you are representing to them a Nordic Viking queen, then I can just really be, my white supremacist self in front of you. And, it's crazy that, what she said about she's a natural brunette, but to them, if you got blonde hair, you must be more pure. So I guess in their mind, a brunette white woman, she must have something mixed down the line, so I better be careful because I don't know what she is. That's a great insight into the mind of the white supremacists. But this woman saying that they are just expressing themselves, and the Dave Chappelle skit with Clayton Bigsby, let that hate out. That's exactly what they're doing, with this woman. But shout out to her for letting the world know how her community thinks. That's why I tell black folk is that you suspect, they that way until they prove otherwise. And that's just a protection mechanism for us, because we have too much of a documented history to, assume otherwise. It's like this. I'm not saying that you are, but due to the culture you're raised upon, and many of them admitted, and they admitted to me, to my face, that they were raised to be that way, and they had to unlearn their culture later in life. I've been told this several times to my face from their particular community. So when you hear me say certain things, it's because I have lived experiences. I've had people tell me to my face, and I always appreciate any, white person that can admit that. I think it's honorable you admitting that. I think it says a lot about you, and that you're not that way, and you being just a great human being, right? And you're not representative of, a lot of those in the majority of your community who have anti-black, thoughts. But, this is something that, that this lady's admitting, and this is for black Americans just to learn, into the mind of the people that you're dealing with.
Where to?
Home. I'm going home.
Now let me stop. Let me stop this right here. Now I'm coming with my comment. It's sad what happened to the young women that got murdered. Got deleted. It's sad what happened to the woman her husband abused her. And then the woman had a wake up call in Ireland. And that black woman had a wake up call. What you gotta learn is, whether you're a black woman and even some black men, people see color. And what they don't say in front of you, they put on the face. And I'm glad that I totally agree with what Phil was saying and what she said. That is so true. She let you know, and I've had white people let me know, and I have put this on past videos. that yet, like I was telling you the story about when I was in Kentucky and like lower on the Kentucky-Tennessee border, and the town was so small that they knew who the guy was that was in the KKK. That was a Klan member. That's how small that it was. And then the woman who I was dating that was biracial, and her mother was white because she lived with the mother, was like, oh, they was kind of in denial. Oh, what's more pressure up here in the city than down there? That's true that it is, but they didn't want to come forward with that, and I saw for myself. And then later on, I met people from down in that part of Kentucky that lived there, and they moved to another part of Kentucky and other places because they didn't want to pick up that same mindset. But people say racially things about us as black people, even more so in the present. And that's when they really, people can put on the face in front of you, but when they get behind closed doors, it's game off. That's with somebody when you having some of a different culture. And a lot of black people there's a certain percentage of never really been around and know how to pick up things in that sense. And I was one of them, from some people who were white, that you're not a part of them. They don't want, some people, they don't just come out and say it, but they beat around the bush. And then they do it in jokes, they do it in satire, they do it in every different type of way. But they really despise you. There's some people that despise and jealousy of you. And it's like what this one brother was saying, you don't have to be doing nothing to them. And it's like, damn, that animosity, that jealousy and envious hate has risen to a whole different level. That's the truth. And there's some people who are like that. And I'm glad that there's some white people that would come forward and confirm, like, yeah, that they say things because they figure that you're not going to say anything because they look like you. Most people who are racist, who have racist tendencies, usually look at another person and just boldly come out because they think that the person is okay for them as another white person to put. It's because you're not black and you're not of any of these other races, so I can just project and say whatever the heck I want to you. And you gonna be, and then it's like, yeah, they catch you to see if you gonna stand in agreement with me. And that's what some people do. So, but when you're a person who is white and don't agree with that, they really get pissed off. They get angry, call you out your name and things like that. And it's crazy. But, and everybody, and what's another thing that should be a lesson for women as well as some men, that just because you think somebody of a different race, you have to pick the character of a person. Character means a lot. Because one thing I heard is one woman, Lady Blue Lady, she made a good point. You do give up a party yourself and what your background, what you gave up when you go into another culture. That's true. That's very true. And it's like, wow, I see what she talking about. And some people don't like to talk about this, but the reality of it is, you see it in some form of fashion. Some people, and they'll smile up in your face and like seem like you're an interracial couple, and they'll put on the face. But if they bring that one person that not used to seeing it, you'll see the discomfort in them. You'll see them being discomfort because they won't really come over and interact with you. or they'll interact with your white spouse, but won't interact, give you eye contact. See, I'm gonna show you how the way they do. Even when you're a friend with some people, and a lot of times your friend or your spouse who is white, they're not going to see it. You're going to experience it. Yeah. And it might. And some people, there are some people, and you'll know when people are shy, or some people are just reserved. But some people are just. But you'll know what type of environment they come from. You'll know. And like Phil said, I know this from experiences, not only from experience, but people have told me. And bolding up, and sometimes, like I said, they'll slip up and say the N-word right in front of your face. And when you're the only one in the house, when they mad at a black person, they'll slip up and say the N-word. Right? Just like that. And if you say, well, I guess I ain't the N-word, you don't get it. Yeah, you're not what they particularly talk to, but you're part of the skin and the culture that they said that about. Yeah. So you have to understand. So it does, and hopefully you find someone that, if you find people around you like that, that they don't hang out and associate with people like that. But it does happen, and people will put on the face. But there's some people psychologically, when it becomes between interracial, between the black and that white, in some cases, and particularly in predominantly white areas of the country, they still have a problem with it. Black people have some might kind of snig, but white people, they take it to a whole different degree, and they know how to put on a face. And you have to be careful where you live at too, straight up. Because there's been incidents where I was watching something recently where a young man was. Now I don't know if this was. It was because of this, but he was around majority of people. He's a black young man. He was around majority of white friends. In Georgia, and his girlfriend was white. The story was, and this is on a guy called Runaway Slaves page, that they found him in a tree in the park, lynched. Now I don't know, and his girl, and they said, and they tried to get information, what's going on, his family, what's going on. His girlfriend went cold on him. Supposed to be his girlfriend, and he was the only guy that he loved to grunge rock with them and everything, party with them and everything. But mysteriously, he's lynched at. Literally, he hung. They said he committed suicide. Yeah. So mysteriously. So this is reality. Watch who you keep company with. And there's some people that have a deep hatred and envious and jealousy for our people. And it could be like what one brother said, it could be a sacrifice. It could be something like that. But I don't want to. But you got to be careful who you get with as far as their character. The character comes apart. Don't be, and it's a lot of our people, and some of our people, we do. You have to, just like you got to do your own people, be wary about your own people. You have to look at other people the same way. Don't think just because someone's nice to you that someone's because they have a different culture. Just you met that one person of a different culture, that everybody in that culture. No, it's not the way it goes. And we have a tendency to do that. And I had thought about it one time myself, until someone showed me their real true colors. People will show you their true colors over time, because they can only put on the face. It's almost like I hate to use a reference like a Bible, but it's almost like the devil he can show you, he can stay in the light, but sooner or later he has to reveal his nature to you. And that's the same way with people. They can only show like they're the angel of light, but sooner or later they got to show that they're the devil. Their true nature. So take this with some advice, and not to be negative or anything, but this reality. Some people are gonna play fake with you. They're gonna be phony with you. So sometimes you have to the good Almighty God show into the Lord Jesus Christ show you who people are over time, because people like to put on a face. Not just people that look like you, not just people in your family, but most people that's opposite of you. Because some of us think that, because we've been burnt by our family, and some people, and we kind of get like that. And you thinking you going over because you met these few individuals, and they may love you and like you, but the other people that's over with them ain't used to seeing people that look like you. They don't interact with black people. I've seen it, and it's obvious when they show it, because they have a certain demeanor. When they're not used to being around black people, they have a certain demeanor. It's like I'm not used to, like someone is in a foreign country or speaking a foreign language. It's not like you're not used to seeing it. And it's like, wow, people, and I'm like most people are people, yeah. People are people. But watch how the way they react. Just watch. And you'll know when some people are just quiet, some people are just shy or introvert, and some people normally that would be introverted, so they bring someone of a different race around. Watch how their mood change. And they'll put on a face. I've seen it. But they want to say something, and they kind of throw ignorant and insinuating things, especially about another culture. And some be so bold to do it right in your face. I've seen it. So be prepared. So, and when you're a nice person, you're not very confrontational. This is when they do that. This is what they do. Individuals will do this. And sometimes, like I said, your white friend might not catch it, but you're gonna see it. Mark my word. Because people can be phony. It's like you see somebody around you phony, but it's gonna be in a different. But it's because your appearance, your skin on your body, the texture in your hair. That's the truth. Then if you have a certain personality, they really still can't stand it. Like you can't help because of your personality. That envious and jealousy spirit, bigoted spirit will rise up, and it's just because. Just be careful. But I know not everybody's like that. But when you come across somebody, when you pick someone with a different race, this is a 9 chance out of 10 you're gonna see someone among those people who are like that, because they'll put on a face. Oh, they'll put on a face. It could be in a family, among their closest friends, because majority of people look like them, so they feel comfortable. And don't let it be a person that is black on TV or a sports figure. That's when you find out, because that's when they let it out. Trust me. All right then, ladies and gentlemen, let it be lesson. But ladies, be careful when you pick a man outside of your culture. And men's the same way. Be careful. Get to know a person. Don't get caught up in the fancy. Don't get caught up with thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. You have to get to know an individual, inside up, upside down, and you over time. And you choose, just like you do with your own culture. You have to be led by other people, and another culture too. Don't hate on yourself too much. Learn about yourself. That's what I say. Okay then. Alright then. Till next time, be blessed. Till next time, see you on the next video. Take care. Be careful who you date, who you marry.